I think so. Oh, this camera's on too. Oh, I don't think I can turn it off though. Alright, we're gonna just test out to see if I can hear myself well. I'm looking on my tablet, so I'm gonna quickly. Mm, I hold on. I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. Hold on. I just want to see is it loud enough because I cannot hear. Okay, I think the music is loud enough because I'm gonna change the song. I'm gonna change the song to the song for the book, but I just had to check because I don't know what I'm doing. And I just realized the prism camera is like flipped. I think it's actually supposed to be that way though. Dude, I'm a monkey. Okay, that's actually a good audio for the music, so let me just actually turn it down. Huh? Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't know how to do this. I was doing something else. Okay, let me mute up. Okay. I'm looking at myself on the tablet so I can see. But hello. I'm going to read today the next chapter of the selection, so I actually have to change that. I don't know why I didn't change it before I started, but that's full monkey mode if you ask me. Uh, this one. So it's chapter 11. Next time that I do this, which is going to be when I read Jujutsu Kaisen, it won't be like that. I actually have to do the same thing for Jujutsu Kaisen, too. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun. That's going to be really fun. That's really fun. Okay, so we're going to do like a slight yap, just for a little bit. Um, just so I can say what my plans are for today or this stream. Just a slight 2-minute yap because I hate yapping. But I like yapping at the same time, so I have to put a timer on. Okay. Okay, 2-minute yap. Actually, 3. I lied. Okay, so I have the book, the selection, and actually today I have a lot of studying to do or preparing for study because my classwork is due tomorrow. So I have to get off at like 11 and then prep for my tomorrow classwork. so I don't get a 0. But yeah, I'm gonna actually read the selection, and then when I finish that, I'm gonna end this stream, and then I'm gonna read Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 1 because I want to read that, and I think this is a good time to start. At first, I didn't want to do it, but that's the whole point of the stream because I don't want to do it. I don't feel like it. It's 15 pages, too many pages, but that's what we're gonna do. And so, if you want to recap from last time, I really loved chapter 10. Really loved chapter 10. It was really good. It was really fun, and I love Maxon so much. Love him so much. He's really nice. He's giving gray, and that's the book I wanted to show you yesterday. So, this is the third book in my favorite series. Hold on. This is the third book in my favorite series. It's actually as an adult reader. I guess, yeah, as an adult reader. This is the first series I ever started. It's not an adult book. I think it's young adult. But these are the books. Don't spoil yourself. Don't spoil yourself. But these are the first 2 books. Oh my god. Birthmark, 5-star. Prized, 18-star. Bro, I read Prize like in 2 days. And that's when I was reading with my Chingu. And I was reading it. It was so good. It felt like a movie. I'll never forget. But yeah, this is the 3rd book in the series. And I think it's like technically the end. But there's like some, I don't know what they're referred to as, but there's some pieces of those that I'm going to read. And I'm thinking of read this after I read the selection. Because I don't want to spam. I have all 5 books of the selection series. But I don't want to spam my physical books because reading digitally is harder. So we're going to alternate. I'm going to read the selection. And I'm also read Legendborn on my tablet. I'm also going to read Jujutsu Kaisen on my tablet and Webtoons. Probably on my tablet. So we can force ourselves to look at the screen. I was actually thinking about getting an e-reader, but I don't really feel like it, and I don't have any money. So, yeah. The timer's about to go off in 30 seconds. We're going to read chapter 11. I got my water, because, excuse me, I got some water. So let's pour up my cup with you. Dude, this cup is so old, that's why it looks browner than my life. That cup is literally, ooh, and I'm spilling water. Snappy. We're getting some water because I haven't drank much water today. Yeah. Anyway, that's the timer. I hope you have your book. Let me know what book you're going to read. If you're in the far distant future and you find this video, let me know. I want to know even if it's 2099. I won't live that long, but if it's 2039, let me know. Okay. We're going to read with the playlist that I use for this book so you get to experience what I'm experiencing, and I will mute up as I read. So let's read together. Let me go get the playlist. But I love this Zelda in the house theme. It's so cute. Oops, that's double. I love Zelda. I love Link. Dude, I went through a Link, Cloud Strife, then Senku Yana. Actually, we're not going to talk about Senku. Don't spoil me. I miss Senku. Okay, yeah. Okay, I am ready to read. I hope you're ready to read too. Let's go. Let's hope we can read these next 15 pages. I gotta switch the song. Again, remember, there is no time limit, bro. Just read. When I finish reading, I'll tell you about the end of the chapter. So, just even if you give up, I understand, because I would too. I'm tired. But yes, let's read. Good luck. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, bro. I can't tell you. Bro, this book's fire. Oh my god. I gotta turn this down. I gotta turn the music down, bro. That book's so fire. Okay, I think the music's actually off for you. I don't know which is better. The music off? Oh my god! He's not joking. He's not joking. I just have to say, Maxon is not joking. He is dead serious. Oh my god, he's dead serious, bro. Hold on, bro. What's better, no music or music? I don't know. But the music being loud in my ears is triggering me. Hold on. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't. I'm gonna cry. I don't even cry during my reading, bro, but this is crazy, bro. Bro. Oh my god. This chapter was better than chapter 10. I'm scared. I'm scared. Hold on, I'm scared. I need to see myself because I'm scarred. Oh my god. That was a good chapter. I'm glad that I came to read. I'm glad that I came to read today. Because at first I didn't want to read because I was like, I kind of don't feel like it. But that's the point. I need to be here to try to read so that I can read. Oh my god, dude, he's not joking. Okay, I'm going to talk about the chapter. Okay, so yeah, after yesterday when America went ballistic and tried to run outside into the garden, she came back inside after her talk with Maxon. Her and Maxon, chopped it up in the garden, talking about, like, I hate it here, but I need to stay here. And that's what they talked about today, because today was the day they were supposed to all meet. All the princesses, or the selected, were supposed to meet Maxon today. And they were introduced to how they were supposed to have etiquette before eating, so they didn't get the right to eating. They all sit down in rows, and they were selected one at a time to have a, like, few 5-minute conversation with Maxon. And when America she sat down next to Ashley, and Ashley actually talked to her, and you found out Ashley is not actually just like trying to keep to herself or anything like that. You found out she's just secretly confident, and she even said, I think she said, yeah, I think I'm gonna win, but you can't let everybody know that. And then she winked, and it was funny because she was getting nice with Ashley, and Marley was sitting in front of her, which was the girl that she kind of became close with in the beginning of the book. As they were arriving to Ilya. I can't believe I remember that. I have attention deficit. I don't know. They were arriving to Ilya. She became close with Marley. And they were all joking because everybody was getting picked and came to talk to Maxon for like 5 minutes, a few minutes or so. And basically, I marked it because America's so funny to me. She's so funny. She said, maybe he wants to know which actors you think are the most handsome. Keep your mental list ready. And I was like, dude, imagine he's just like, yo, so who do you like physically that's a male? And you're like, oh my god, this dude. And he's like, you're out of here. Hey, that'd be funny. I actually would love that. But anyway, they had a talk, and what's her name? America is just like, I'm starving, dude. Can we hurry this up? But anyway, she got to him, and it was her time to talk with him. And basically, he was like, hey, nice to meet you. Like they never met before. But anyway, he asked her if she slept well, and she said yeah after they calmed down, and they had a talk. And he brought up the fact that she told him yesterday in the garden, like, you said that your heart was somewhere else, and that you were here by mistake. Does that mean you want to leave? And she basically said no, since she wants to stay to help her family, since even just staying a week would help her family get some money. Because I think every week you stay in the selected, you get money. Like, your family gets money. And she's a 5, right? So she's pretty close to working as a servant, but not a deep enough like 6s are. Like 6s are maids and actual servants, right? And then 7s are probably like close to being homeless, and 8s are actually homeless. So, she's starving by that point because she's normally eating at this point. But, what did I say? Maxon was just basically saying, oh, so you want to stay, but you don't love me, or you don't have any attraction to me. So he was a bit confused. And she said, yeah, but I'll make a trade with you. I'll actually get the tea on the other girls. If you let me stay, we'll have a communication situation where I'll get the tea on the other girls, and I'll be your confidant just until you find one. And he's like, well, I couldn't imagine a better friend than you. So they became friends and they were talking, and she was very honest to him about her motives. She just wanted to stay to help her family. She is still in love with Aspen, but she doesn't want to go home right now because she kind of hates Aspen, as I would too. Because, like, how are you going to just come to me and be like, I don't want to be with you anymore? Disrespectful. Anyway, this chapter was fire because after the conversations, she was in the last row of the girls to be talked to. So she was just starving herself out as she was waiting for him to talk to everybody. And basically, his name is Maxon. Maxon said, anybody that I said stay behind, stay here, and everybody else can go to I guess, the eating hall, whatever it was referred to as. And she was kind of scared, America, because why are they staying behind? It was like 8 girls. And it's 35 selected, by the way. I think 8 girls got chosen to stay behind, and she was kind of freaking out. And she was going into the dining hall, and she's like, everybody's walking towards the table. Like, are we supposed to stop? Like, didn't we just have this whole conversation about how to have etiquette at this table? And then the lady that, like, trains them said, hey guys, we didn't get this far, but every time you interact with the royal or whatever they're called, you got to curtsy, and you can rise from your curtsy once they address you, and then you can sit down. And I was like, dude, better you than me. Anyway, after that happened, they all sat down after they curtsied, and then soon, a little bit later, Maxon came in, and she realized nobody else was coming in there. Like, the other 8 girls were not coming in there, and Ashley was one of the 8 girls that got left behind. And basically, the girl across the table said, who was it that she was talking to across the table? Yeah, she said it was Chris sitting across from me who answered the question in my eyes. And she said they're gone, they said. And she said, gone? Oh, I couldn't imagine what they have done in less than 5 minutes to displease Maxon. But I was suddenly grateful I'd chosen to be honest. Just like that, we're down to 27. I'm like, what the monkey? He just erased, bro. If you ever watched anime, this is like, no, this is like Beerus destroying a planet. Like, that's what it felt like to me. Beerus destroying a planet. Oh my god, that was fire. He's so nice though. Maxon is so nice. I did not think he was gonna be that cutthroat. Like, he erased them immediately in like 2 to 3 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes of conversation told him all he needed to know. And you know what's crazy? In the beginning of the book, when she met Ashley, Ashley was not too like, conversational. She was to herself. She didn't say anything. But when they started talking, I guess she said everything they needed to know not to keep her. So I wonder if Celeste probably still there. But anyway, a thing that I like about America is basically she's just gonna be herself at the end of the day. Like, when she came down there and she saw everybody else's dress, she's like, everybody looks like princesses or ones in their dresses. She's like, I look like a 5 in a dress. Like, she's cosplaying a 1. And I was just like, I understand that. True, I understand. But, she doesn't like Maxon calling her dear, so she keeps telling him, stop talking to me like that. I am not your dear. But he's like, I'm going to keep trying. And I'm like, this is giving me birthmark vibes. I just love Gray, and Maxon reminds me of Gray. But that was so good. What would I rate this chapter? Oh my god, what did I say the other one was? A 10, right? This is like a 12, just because he erased all 8 of those girls. He just erased 8 girls like it was nothing. Bro, I'm freaking out. I kind of want to read chapter 12, but let me see how long chapter 12 is. I always put, I cut this out of my journal, my Webtoon journal, and I turned my Webtoon journal into something for school. But this is what I do. I put at the start of the next chapter this, and then I use the thing my friend got me, which is funny because I just lost it. Imagine if oh, it's right here. It was funny. This is what my friend gave me as a bookmark in the mail, and I use this as my actual bookmark. What do you say? So everyone, you said everyone is ranked in different numbers. Is that based on family? So yeah, there's caste, I think it's referred to as, where everybody is, I think, ranked up by, let me see, I think it's status. But I don't know why they're all ranked like that. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to the beginning of the book. Everybody's ranked from ones to five to eights. Ones are, I think, elite. Like the prince and his family would be ones. So the king, the queen, the prince, and then when Maxon chooses his wife, 35 selected girls, now 27, they will become a one. That after that, there's twos and threes. Twos and threes are kind of like they get real jobs. Like they get to become teachers. They get to become. They get to dress normal. They have money to get clothes. And then I don't know much about fours, but America is a five. And for as a five, her family kind of makes money here and there just being singers because she's really good at singing, and I think her mom's really good at singing. And so they just make money however they can, like playing instruments. Like America knows how to play, I think, a couple instruments. I think. So as a five, it's really hard to get work, but I think it's a little bit easier than being a six. A six are servants. I don't know what it is that determines your rank, though. I remember that they explained to you what everyone's role was like. I don't remember what page that was because I read most of this book in the beginning of 2025. But I know that eights are like the equivalent of being homeless. And that's so sad. That's so sad. Do you get chosen to be? I don't remember. Hold on. I know that she said it. She talked about it. Maybe it was in chapter 1. Okay, let's see. When she was talking to Aspen, I know Aspen's a 6. Yeah, Aspen was a 6. 6, yeah, I found it. 6s were servants and only a step up from 7s in that they were better educated and trained for indoor work. Yeah. So 7s must, I don't know what the heck 7s do for work. I know she talked about what everybody's rank was. I can't believe I found that page. Do you know the last time I read the beginning of this book? Wait, there's 9s? Wait, there's 9s? Wait, I just read there's 9s. She said there was even a magnificent jailbreaker once, but considering they only released a teenage girl who managed to get herself pregnant and a 7 who was a father to not, oh, I didn't read that right. I did not read that right. She said a father who was 7 to 9, who was a 7, right? Wait, huh? He had 9 children? How did you do that? How did you do that as a 7 and live? Well, I know she talked about each class. Bro, this book is crazy. I'm actually glad you said that. So you said, dang, so there's possibility of marrying up. Do people get lowered to crimes or social fox pa? I don't know what that means. You're intelligent because I don't know what that word fox pa means. But you can marry down. So her love in this book was a 6. And he had contemplations with wanting to marry her because her caste difference. So if she married, I think because he's the male, they married down. So she would become a 6 too. And I don't think he was okay with that. And I also think at the time, Ilya is going through like a war. And so he was kind of thinking he was going to get drafted. So he didn't want to marry her too. And in this book, because you can't like romantically involve yourself with anybody, like they wanted to do some things, but it's illegal. It's illegal. That's a crime, and I don't know what happens to you when that happens. I forgot. I know she just said it. She really just said it though. I will find it. Now you made me. Now you made me want to find it because I was like, what? Bro, I can skim read fast. Where's that? I know it's in the beginning of this book, bro. This book's really good. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's actually fire. Like, I usually don't like books immediately, but I like this book after I read chapter one. Yeah, so she said, um, sixes were servants and only a step up from sevens in that they were better educated and trained for indoor work. Aspen was smarter than anyone. Um, I know the descendants is illiterate because I can read. Aspen was smarter than anyone knew and devastatingly handsome, but it was typical for women to marry down. It was atypical. A man from a lower caste could ask for a hand, but it was rare to get a yes. And anyone married to a different caste, they had to fill out paperwork and wait for something like 90 days before any other legal things you needed could be done. That's crazy. That's actually insane. That's actually insanity. I just want to find a part about the people. That's actually insane. So I guess you can marry down if someone asks for you to be married, but it's rare that people actually say that. But I think when you marry down, you do lose your current status as whatever number you are. So I don't think you'll ever see a three marrying a six. Honestly, I think so far I've seen threes be rude. I think Marley is a four, which is her friend in this competition, and Marley's been the nicest person to her so far. So dang, I don't think I can find it. Yeah, but this book's really good. I kind of want to read chapter 12, but I'm not gonna do that because I want to read Jujutsu Kaisen. But I kind of my ADHD is calling me to go to bed. But I have something to do, don't I? It's 10:38. Should I read Jujutsu Kaisen? No, I don't think so. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can. I thought I could, and then I realized I can't. I cannot. So that ends today. But I read one chapter, and I'm proud of myself. I hope anyone watching also read something, because reading nothing is okay just as much as reading something is. But let's try to progress. Let's get better. But actually, I always do this before I end. I mean, I only done this twice now. But I just go look how long chapter 12 is so I know if I'm going to read two chapters or not. I don't want to get spoiled. Do not spoil me. Do not spoil me. Yes, I'm going to go to bed. Thank you. Go to bed. Oh my god, wait. Chapter 12 is only 14 pages. That's going to be a fun read. Okay, so what I do, I'll teach you. I'll teach you the strat if you have ADHD. Oh my god, you'll be back to join me tomorrow? Okay, cool. I'll see you. I'll stream tomorrow at the same time. Probably most likely 9 p.m. And maybe I'll read Jujutsu Kaisen tomorrow too, but I'm definitely reading this tomorrow. But anyway, this is the strat. So we take this and we put it into the next chapter. Because this is how I fight the ADHD. When I know how many pages I have, it makes me want to read a little bit more. And then you take your other bookmark and you put it in the actual start of the actual chapter. Now you can see it's kind of like two sections. Now I feel like, oh, this is achievable because I know how many pages. It works for me. But yes, I hope to see you again tomorrow, and I had a good time. I hope that whatever you read, you let me know because I'm down to know what you read. But I had a good time. I'm tired. I'm going to go to sleep. I'll wake up tomorrow so I can study, and then I'll come back to read. See you then. Bye bye.